Well, we'll have to go with the estimation given us from the Capitol Visitor Bureau and trust them for their number. So
I guess we can take that. Okay, everyone, put your guesses in the chat. Tell us where you're joining us from. I see Deborah Bunka, she's in Nevada, Karen Varley in Stewart. We've got Denise O'Brien here near Atlantic. She will be joining us in March. I think March 21st, if I have that exact, for a lunch and learn. So expect to see Denise soon. Lisa Bean, Iowa Food Cooperative, and Cultivate Local Food Connections. It's great to have everyone here. Erin, so we are live streaming. I'm also recording. I think I am ready to get started when you all are.
well, excellent. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. This is the Iowa Farmers Union Lunch and Learn series, and we are very happy you're with us today. We're going to have a great conversation with Jeff Hafner, owner of Early Morning Harvest. So, Jeff, thank you for being with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
We're going to have a great conversation about the things going on at Early Morning Harvest in just a minute. Going to give a couple reminders about some things going on. First, the trivia question for today, if you haven't had a chance to answer it yet. The lobby day yesterday at the Iowa Farmers Union Lobby Day was at the Iowa Capitol building. Trivia question asked how many bricks were used to build the Iowa Capitol building. And it's an impressive number. So put your guess in the chat for the number of bricks in the Iowa Capitol building. We had a fantastic day at Lobby Day yesterday. Our folks gave their message to lawmakers about local foods, about soil health, about fairness for farmers issues, and a variety of fantastic issues that we prioritized. And we know we have a lot of heavy lifting to do at the legislature this year, but our members really showed up and did a fantastic job of relaying those values and policy priorities of the Iowa Farmers Union. So thank you for our dedicated membership, and stay tuned on how to get more involved with the policy initiatives going on at the Iowa legislature. It's a busy time there. So thank you for folks who participated in Lobby Day. Christina, I'll pass it off to you for another announcement.
Yeah, so the only thing I have to highlight for you all right now is next week's Lunch and Learn. We'll be joined by Schaefer Ridgway. Schaefer is a farmer in Waterloo, Iowa. He's also a new member of the Iowa Farmers Union Board of Directors. They call their farm Southern Goods, and they specialize in growing Southern vegetables for, Midwest consumption. So he's going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're also going to have him talk about the marketing side, how they are distributing that and everything. So I will drop the link in the chat and you can register.
Very good. And I just have a couple of other announcements. Remember that the National Farmers Union Annual Convention is taking place in Scottsdale, Arizona, March 10th through 13th. We're looking forward to a fantastic get-together. Secretary of Agriculture Vilsack will be joining us, and we have a lot of wonderful opportunities to hear from speakers. We'll be electing leadership and adopting the policy of the National Farmers Union. So if you haven't had a chance to sign up yet, join us. We've got a great group going to Scottsdale, Arizona. I also wanted to bring people's attention to an opportunity that we are going to be having. The National Farmers Union has an advocacy training, and I will try to share that on the screen as best as I can, Christina. The advocacy training takes place April 15th and 16th in Washington, D.C. We've had wonderful participants from Iowa in previous years, and again, this year we will be sending a crew to Washington, and there are stipends available for your travel and your stay lodging there. And the training itself is free. It involves networking with other Farmers Union members around the country, learning how to share your message with others by developing communication skills. We also have board training and civic engagement training. And then you'll actually be meeting with members of Congress on key issues. And it is a key time to be doing that, with Farm Bill debate heating up, among many other things. So join our group in Washington. Again, there are some stipends available. our deadline is coming up. The training itself takes place later in April. So please be aware of that. With that, though, I want us to start our conversation today with Jeff Hafner, owner of Early Morning Harvest. And he has such a fantastic story to tell about their aquaponic produce farm and grain mill here in central Iowa. And we'll look at the farm and the certain other aspects of it. They cultivate grains and produce honey, eggs, and produce on their farm near Panora, just outside of the metro area. And so Jeff, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing with us about Early Morning Harvest.
Well, we have a lot going on at Early Morning Harvest. Good morning, everybody. I know it's afternoon, but it's always good morning, and we're always Early Morning Harvest, and we're always growing. So we've been farming organically for over 25 years. Mix of crops, livestock, because everything's connected. About 10, 12 years ago, Dad and I both had some hobbies, and warning to everybody with hobbies that they can get out of control. So next slide. Mine was, I was interested in aquaponics. So we have an aquaponics greenhouse. It's year round. It's not totally environmentally controlled, but we have greens, herbs, tomatoes, a variety of plants year round that offered, as Lisa Bean knows, to Iowa Food Co-op and here in our own little on-farm store. Next slide. We give a lot of tours, FFA groups, 4-H groups, homeschool groups, business classes. We got an FFA group coming next week, as a matter of fact. We focus on educating and helping everybody grow both mentally and in education and farming and where their food comes from. Next slide. And just a couple more pictures of throughout everything. We do grow vegetables in dirt along with the aquaponics. We do have, starting last year, a bunch of hydroponic strawberries. We'll be planting more of those here in a few weeks. We'll start harvesting those first part of May, and hopefully, if Mother Nature cooperates, clear up to November. It's again, we're close to Des Moines. It's something you can come and visit with your family. We give I call them nickel tours, although they're always free. You can always ask for a tour when you visit, just whatever happens to be going on. Next slide. So with the organic grains, we've and the cattle and all the other livestock, we always had small grains. Corn, soybeans, we raised winter rye, soft red winter wheat, hard red spring wheat, buckwheat, and oats. With all that, Dad was playing around and making his own breakfast cereal. So we got our seed handler's license and we cleaned the grain. Next slide. And it grew until we actually put in a 20-inch stone mill. So it comes from metal mills. So we don't do, other than cleaning the grain, we don't do anything to the mill before, or to the grain before it is milled. It's just our grain plus the 2 stones. And then on the right side there, you can see him putting the sifter together. Then we sift it for consistency. So not very many people raise wheat in Iowa. It is a difficult crop to raise in Iowa. We have been blessed over the last 10 years that after harvest, I send it all in to be tested for aflatoxin, vomitoxin, and other parameters, and our grain is made great. The big thing is keeping the flour consistent to the customer, and our grain has made that quality cut every year for the last 10 plus years, which is unique because I have, even through the pandemic, I had a constant supply. So Mother Nature always has a vote. I'm sure there's a year coming that I will be sourcing from other organic producers, but right now I'm proud to say that right now we mill everything that comes from our farm. So next slide. So here's after it's cleaned, a couple good pictures of it coming into the mill. The mill's fed by the auger. We've added a blower which helps clean the flour before we bag it, which helped quite a bit as far as production goes. Next slide. So everything is not quite automated. We're not that big yet. We still fling a lot of 5-gallon buckets. Everything is still hand bagged. I don't remember the ice cream that talked about everything being hand packed. But I will tell you that everything is hand bagged, and I have some rock star employees that are really steady on making it happen. In the back of on top of the scale, you see the new packaging that was released last year. It was really big as far as helping sales in grocery stores. It's also color coded. So if you are not the normal person that buys groceries from the grocery store, the baker of the family can say you need to buy the dark blue bag or the light green bag or the purple bag to help some of us non-bakers in the grocery store to get the correct item. So next slide, please. So we use several distributors. You can see a variety of our store products there. The on-farm store features not only Iowa small entrepreneur and small farmer products, but we've expanded to the Midwest. So you can see Red Dragon teas from Des Moines and Goodness from the Goats from up north. Our flowers, our dried herbs, our honey. So quite a variety in the store. We use several marketing and distributors, anywhere from Hy-Vee, Farm Table, Libby out of Eastern Iowa, That Iowa Girl, as well as the other Hy-Vee distributors. So quite a lot going along around here. As the name says, early morning harvest. We won't talk about how early the day starts here sometimes. But we get started pretty early most days. So that was probably quicker going through the slides than Christina wanted me to, but I covered a lot, and I'm welcome to entertain questions. I know one question that I've been getting a lot, so I'll just hit it up front. In the last 60 days, I've been getting a lot of questions about folic acid. So, we talk about as far as the mill is certified organic and certified non-GMO, and the ground has been certified organic. So the short, quick answer is I can't add folic acid. It is either on the crop, which it can be added to a crop. They're starting to use on the crop. They're using it for a growth stimulant in some places. And of course, FDA has released it and actually encourages it to be fortified with flours and breads to help with prenatal diseases and stuff like that. It is a B vitamin. Of course, it's a man-made B vitamin. Of course, if we just all eat our kale and spinach like we should, we get plenty of B vitamins.
That's right.
But we don't do anything to the grain other than, of course, we clean it, and then the final product is the grain plus the 2 stones, and we sift it for consistency. I'm not smart enough to remove the bran, remove the germ. So all the products are whole grain. And I don't know, you have to come and walk through everything. So with that, I'll entertain any questions or
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you get quite a few groups coming through. What's the biggest, most common question you get from the groups that come through?
The most common questions I get from the groups that come through, um, usually it's how many plants are in the greenhouse, what type of fish are in the greenhouse, and what grains I grow are the most common questions I get.
Well, let's start there. How large is the greenhouse? And we had other people asking about that on our list here too.
How large is a greenhouse? Well, so large and big are relative terms. So I know there's bigger greenhouses out there. So the aquaponics greenhouse is roughly 30 by 50.
Okay.
And the strawberry hydroponic greenhouse is roughly 40 by 120. And then we have a small high tunnel and do outside gardening also.
Okay,
The
very good.
greenhouses are not certified organic, but we try really hard to follow the organic practices. So
Excellent, excellent. And so you grow a variety of small grains. Tell us again what you're growing now, and you use all of those products for flour.
correct. So the farm grows corn, soybeans. We are in Iowa. We got to do that.
Yeah.
Oats, winter rye, soft red winter wheat, hard red spring wheat,
Mm.
buckwheat. Let's see, rye, wheat, corn, soybeans, buckwheat, oats, and then enough forage and hay. You know, we always got clover or something we can mow hay or push through a cow because we got plenty of cows around.
Oh, very good. And you had mentioned the livestock being an integral part of the operation. You sell meat at the same store that you sell all the other products?
Yeah, everything's connected here. Not much goes to waste. So yeah, we have laying hens. We do a few broilers and turkeys. Um, we do contract some hogs, and then we have cattle also. We don't sell much of our personal meat to the store, but there is quite a bit of meat from other small producers in the store, including bison from
Very
up in
good.
northwest Iowa.
Interesting. Interesting. So we had a question that asked if you're interested in finding some Kernza or doing Kernza yourself.
Kernza, actually, this winter I've been in contact with the Kernza Association up in Minnesota, and they sent 50 pounds of Kernza that we did a practice milling with, and other people milled Kernza, but we didn't have good luck. So we need to do a little more R&D, research and development. I'm familiar with Kernza. I have not raised Kernza, but I've been in contact with them, and as far as trying to mill it, trying to bag it, and that type of thing. So we're working on it.
Well, very good. And we had a question or two about the fish side of things. What fish do you grow?
So the fish are tilapia. So the aquaponics greenhouse was my hobby. Always wanted to get into gardening. Grandma could raise a huge garden, and of course, I planted the garden. Then we had to do oats and corn and soybeans. And 8 weeks later, there was a lot of weeds. But the fish are tilapia. That's the standard fish for 95% of the industry. And I had a steep learning curve, so I stuck with tilapia.
And is that an operation that you consider growing, or are you happy with where it is now?
I'm happy with the aquaponics. For anybody out there looking at getting into aquaponics, the capital requirement getting started is more than a garden or high tunnel, but it is unique. It has its own challenges, and I've learned a lot from it. I've really learned a lot.
Sure. And so what happens next on the farm? What areas would you like to expand into or try that you haven't had a chance to yet?
The next couple of years, we're just gonna try and just get better. Work on, we've grown, we keep learning and growing, and we just want to get more efficient in a lot of areas. The on-farm store has room to grow, and the mill has room to grow. So
Very good. And you mentioned that you remind us again of some of the outlets that you use to distribute some of the product that you have. You mentioned Iowa Food Co-op and a few others. Remind people of those in case they want to write it down and research the best way to find the product if they can't make it to early morning harvest on a quick trip.
so if I look at the local markets, the vegetables, the eggs, and flour, you got the Iowa Food Co-op. We're in some in wheat fields, a few eggs and vegetables in a couple of little grocery stores in early morning harvest, as well as our own newsletter. And then we work with Farm Table in that same area. If I look at the flour and the grains, we are on Amazon and eBay. We're in about 100 Hy-Vee stores, about 30 Fairways, wheat fields, New Pioneers, all kinds of little mom and pops, and seem to be gaining stores fairly regularly.
And you have do you have help with that distribution? That's a daunting task to find your product in so many places. Do you do that all yourself, or do you do that in cooperation with some other folks?
Of course, we work with Hy-Vee some. As a distributor, we work with the distributor, That Iowa Girl. Farm Table's been helpful also. And of course, good old post office with Amazon and eBay helps tremendously also.
Absolutely. Well, we have a question that asks, when you bring some youth groups into tour early morning harvest, and I'm sure they get quite an education. Are you getting some feedback on the interest in trying to build their own operation on their own farm, or from the next generation?
Not necessarily from the kids. I've had several tour through with interest in starting their own garden or their own aquaponics or something like that. To be honest with you, maybe I scare them away. I tell everybody where I've made my mistakes, and hopefully they can learn from my mistakes. And I'm pretty honest with them. It can be as everybody knows that's out there farming, it's not all sunshine and roses sometimes. So I usually never hear back from them.
But I bet those seeds are being germinated and maybe are coming up in ways that we don't get to see quite yet.
That's right. There's, especially in aquaponics, there's quite a bit of chemistry involved, testing the water and that type of stuff. So you never know what seed is planted in a person's mind and how you affected them, positive or negatively.
Well, that's right. That's exactly right. So what makes you most optimistic for agriculture in Iowa, and what lessons could be learned from that you put in place?
The biggest thing is just remember two things. Mother Nature has a vote, and part of that is every year is different. And the other thing is keep learning and growing. I talk to interns, and if they see something and question something, I will give them the history. And then a lot of times I'll tell them to go Google me 3 answers, and we'll come back and talk about it. Because they might look at it differently than I did. So I don't want to say question everything, but never stop learning.
That's right. That's right.
Back in the 70s, the moldboard plow was the tillage tool practice. And I read a couple months ago where John Deere first started making the plow, has stopped making it now. I read that somewhere. So times change.
farming is always part of change, right? Um, and so keeping that open mind for learning is extremely important for us.
Yes.
So, well, great. Well, this has been a wonderful opportunity to learn. And tell us again, if people want to come to Early Morning Harvest, can they just find you on Google and arrange a time to maybe come for a visit and to visit the store?
Yep. So the store is actually open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 5. Um, drop in any time during those hours. Um, if you want to set up a bigger tour, you can give us a call or send us an email. Google, we seem to pop up. Google Early Morning Harvest will pop up. Send us an email. If you have questions or anything like that, just send us an email or give us a call. We'll do our best to answer it. I tell a lot of tours that the only bad question is the one not asked, and it doesn't mean that I know the answer, and it doesn't mean you will like the answer, but ask the question.
That's right. That's the important thing is we keep asking the questions. So, well, Jeff, thank you for sharing with us. I know it's a busy time, but we really appreciate you taking the time to kind of share with our group here.
Yep, been my pleasure.
Great. Well, thank you, Jeff. So thanks, everyone. This is the Iowa Farmers Union Lunch and Learn series. Every Thursday at 12:30, we gather and we talk to farmers. We talk to policy leaders. We talk to partners who are working on family farm issues, on sustainable agriculture issues, and on rural community issues. So join us every Thursday at 12:30 and join the Farmers Union. If you haven't had a chance to join the Farmers Union yet, please do so. We know that we are most effective when we work together, and we want to make a real difference in our farmers' lives and our rural communities' lives. So please consider joining or being a supporter of the Iowa Farmers Union. So thank you so much for your time today, Jeff. We really appreciate it. Have a good day, everyone.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Thanks, everyone. Join us next Thursday with Schaefer Ridgway. He'll be our next Lunch and Learn. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.